Well, hello. This is your host. Actually, I don't want to even call myself the host. I believe that the identification or the misidentification of the human ego is the cause or the base cause of most suffering. I guess I will say the cause of my suffering in the past for sure was me classifying myself or attempting to fall into a certain descriptive terminologies, a certain or a respective compartment in which you could judge an individual or ascertain what type of individual I am. So no, I'm not your host. No, I'm not your guide. No, I'm not your intermediary, even though I would like to be. White collar goon, who am I? I am your servant. An open servant, a radically transparent servant, a talkative servant to say the least, of course. But yeah, I'm just here to provide you with my light, my energy, and my thoughts, so I could let me get you out of the light. Well, let me get you into the light, but let me get you out of the light, so I can move forward with, helping, assisting, being of assistance. Whenever I pray in the morning, I do ask the Lord to expand my vessel in every area of expression. That means the psychological sense, the cognitive sense, the mental, expanding my cognitive bandwidth. We call that the spectrum of consciousness, so I can be open to receive everything. I asked him to transform me emotionally, socially, physically as well. I think the physical is last. The physical is definitely last. Spiritually, socially, and emotionally, so I can be able to discern or have what they call discriminatory knowledge. I mean, discrimination is not necessarily it's bad whenever you discriminate on, basis of like people's skin color or their orientation or their ethnicity or their religion. And that's like, of course we understand that, but discriminating in the sense of like, hey, I'm not doing that because I know that's bad. Hey, I am for that because I know this is helpful. This is helpful not only to me, but this is helpful to the community. This is helpful to the universal order of things, meaning it helps my neighbor. If it helps my neighbor and it helps my household and it helps me, then this is a good thing. I want to do more things of that nature than to privatize and keep things for myself and be selfish. So there are only two types of thoughts. What are those two thoughts, you might ask? What are those two types? Painful thoughts and painless thoughts. Another way to describe painful thoughts or painless thoughts are selfish thoughts or selfless thoughts. All right, so like, are the things that you're doing, is it harmful or is it harmonious? Will it provide yourself or provide your environment with a peaceful, easeful, and purposeful life? And when I say peaceful, easeful, purposeful, I mean that is just, that is a way to live by, of course. But your life in the external realm, the world, as far as the physical, what I call the political in Angels and Politics in our philosophy, like the political isn't something that we can necessarily control. We can control here. We can control here. We can control here. All right. And sometimes with me, I have a lot to say, and everything that I say isn't harmonious, so to speak. It is. It isn't helpful to everybody. Sometimes it's just me like letting you know how it is that I feel about things. Right. So we want to make sure that we can be easeful here, peaceful here, and that will be the culmination of our mental status, our emotional status, our social status. And when I say social status, it doesn't mean like, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I'm a cool guy. Like, no, like how we're able to interface socially, how we're able to apply what we know in the emotional context, in the spiritual context, in the way that we are fully being transparent and allowing God to circulate and infuse his love through nature, through nurture, through passion. Guys, dedicate, ladies, sister, put yourself out into the spiritual markets. I call it the spiritual markets, I call it the angel markets, because we are all angels. and you're wondering like how things are going to work out for you in your life, or and how you're going to manifest your reality, and how you're going to become self-actualized and self-realized, and how you become the archetypal quintessential superhero that you are, because you do have spiritual gifts, you do have idiosyncrasies, you do have these nuances that make you so different and unique, and those are your superpowers. In order to achieve that, selfless service, we call that karma yoga somewhere. Selfless service, putting yourself out there and allowing yourself to be used without the ego driving that. How do you do that? That means whenever you're working in the community, when you're working with children, when you're working with the elderly, when you're working with your family, your obligation, of course, but when you're working with individuals who need your gifts, your assistance, you're not doing things like, hey, I'm picking up homie because next week he's gonna have to pick me up, or I'm not helping out homegirl with her homework because when the test comes, I need to be looking on her sheet for the answers. And really, you shouldn't be looking at homegirl's test in the first place if you're the one helping her out. So, I mean, like all kind of things. Like, you're not doing deeds in order to receive something. You don't put yourself out into the universe to be used as a vessel by God, using it as a universal instrument by the divine order, and look for the fruits of your labor. You're there to be a giver. You're there to be a giver. Ladies, oh my gosh, do you know what you give every single day? I know some of you do, and that's the reason why you're so turned up. That's the reason why you're so upset. That's the reason why you say, niggas ain't shit. Like, I mean, I get that. But, like, for the most part, ladies, you give so much. You are the light in most people's, like, day-to-day lives. Most people have a boring ass, like, humdrum ass, like, let me just go through this dreary, drab, bland type of life. And if it wasn't for the women in their life, they wouldn't have the social atmosphere that they do. If it wasn't for the women in their life, they wouldn't have the bliss, the euphoria, the spontaneity, the unpredictableness, the comfort, the convenience, the fun, the feminine energy. They wouldn't drink the wine the same way. They wouldn't tap their herb in the same way. They wouldn't go outside and want to go for walks in the park, because it's like, damn, like, why would I be doing these things if I didn't have this beautiful universal angel with me? So, ladies, I know you give yourself. You're in the spiritual markets every single day. You appreciate the world so much. You're benevolent with your charms and your intellectual faculties. You are bold. You are audacious. You're caring. You care so much. You care so much. You care about the feelings of your children. You care about the feelings of your significant other. You care about the feelings of homegirl on the bus or on the train or on the metro, and who you bypass in the grocery store, and who you see coming and going. And I don't want you to think that, like, nobody doesn't see that. I don't want you to think that, like, just because you didn't get an award at the end of, the workday or the school year, or during your anniversary, homeboy didn't get on his knees and humble himself and say, thank you so much for being who you are. Like, he's not going to do that. Most of the time he won't do that, and your job won't do that either, and your friends won't do that either. And as much as you have sacrificed for your children, do you think your children are going to say, oh my gosh, thank you, Mom, for sacrificing so much for us? They won't. It's not going to happen. So if you're looking for the fruits of your labor, and if you're looking for a return on your investment, and you invest in the spiritual realm, it's not going to come through the physical realm. Not yet, of course. The way you receive those blessings is when you forget about, like, don't tell me some shit about me. Like, is whenever you forget, or you remove, or you detach. That's the word. You renounce those feelings of entitlement. You renounce those feelings of I should be admonished. I should be revered. I should be acknowledged based on the things that I do. Look at me. I showed up to work every single day. Look at me. I kept myself fit for this dude while he's been fucking putting on weight, drinking beers, slinging wings, looking sloppy. I'm still going to Pilates. I'm still going for my runs. I'm still making sure the kids are fed, clothed, bathed, clean, homework is done. I still got my flat stomach, even though I'm working on a few things. Like, I get you, homegirl, and I know it's hard. I know it is. It's difficult. It is difficult, for sure. And it can be frustrating. Detach yourself from that ego. Detach yourself from those thoughts, because as soon as you release that, that's the closer you are to your peace. That's the closer you are to your easeful, peaceful, purposeful life. That's how you get yourself to your purpose. Let me tell you this, sis. What's coming your way cannot be described in words. Like, what is coming your way cannot be. I can't fully express to you what is on the other side of the mountain, but you're gonna have to climb it. You're gonna have to continue climbing the mountain, and the mountain is every day. The mountain is 24 hours in a day. The mountain is your impulses. The mountain is your desires. The mountain is that internal dragon that you are slaying, and sometimes you might have a few of them. If you're somebody like me, I got a lot going down. I don't have kids. I don't have a significant other, but I know for myself, I know what's going on here. When I close my eyes and it's time for me to meditate, I'm ripping and running. Ripping and running. There's so much that is the perpetual waves. I'm trying to calm the mental lake. I'm trying to calm the mental ocean. Well, I'm in the abyss with my ocean because it's darkness in there. It's darkness in there. Do you not think I still think about pornography? Of course I do. Do you not think I want to, like, turn up the bottle of vino and get the proper Syrah, get the proper Cote de Rome, get the proper Cab, get the proper Argentinian wine, get the wine from Portugal? Do you not think I miss the times when I was sitting in Venice or in Rome and I was by myself with the meal, and instead of the homie asking me, do I want the glass, bring out the fucking carafe, homie. Bring out the full craft and pour up, because I can consume this in one sitting like it is my lifestyle. Do you not think there's a time when I step outside and I enjoy the sunlight and I still don't want to go to those desires of saying, like, let me call the wee man up? Like, of course I do. Those are simple things. Those are small things, but those thoughts are preventing me from being fully invested into the spiritual market. It's preventing me from being fully present. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, so it's good that I do battle that. It's good that I wrestle with that. It's good that I have that, but you have your own. You have your own things. Trust me, homegirl, once you start to detach yourself, once you start to renounce these things, once you start to renounce your old ways of behaving, of receiving glory and satisfaction and fame and acclaim from external forces, from things that are not natural. This is natural. The light is natural. The solar energy, the lunar energy, the kundalini energy that's trapped in the base of your spine, which is the divine feminine, divine masculine, your creative force, your artistic force, your sexual force. When that shoots through your body and permeates every vessel, every cell within your body, you will not be looking for somebody to pat you on the shoulder. You're not going to be looking for homie to be telling you something that's nice about your face and something that's nice about your physique or something that's nice about your aesthetic, even though that might make you feel good. You're not going to be looking for that. What's going to be happening to you is going to be, I can't describe it. That's why I'm here having this channel. That's why I'm here to be to talk about yoga. I can't be anything else other than yoga. The angels are here. This is the angels. The roses are the angels. The flowers are the angels. When you go to the farmer's market and you see the natural divine order of fruits, the vegetables, the colors, the people, the social atmosphere, the love, the kindness, the altruism, the benevolence, the compassion, that is the angels. The politics is the exchange. The politics is the way that we live. The politics is how, we live in these houses and we still have to pay bills and we still have to go to whatever quote unquote work is because we do have families and we do have friends and we do have expenses. That's the politics. But the yoga is the unison. The yoga is the unity. The yoga is the bridging of the gap so you don't forget what you are doing this for. God bless. Namaste and namaskar.